you going, everyone? Today we've got a lot of trailers to get through. Now let's get stuck into it. Alright, first up, guys, we've got a good one. It's called Dope Thief. Now, Dope Thief is an upcoming American crime television drama series. Now, it's actually going to be a mini-series on Apple TV, and it used to be a novel before, obviously, they turned it into a mini-series. And it's set to come out on the 14th of March. Now, main two characters this one are Brian Tyree Henry, and he's playing a character called Ray. Now, you might have seen this fella out of movies like Artemis's Hotel, Joker, with old Walking Phoenix, as well as Godzilla vs. Kong. And then you got one of my personal favourites that I happen to love him in, which is Bullet Train, where he happens to play Lemon.
He's Lemon.
Now, the other fella in this one is called Magna Warner. He's playing a fella called Manny. Now, this fella's first ever big Hollywood appearance was in the movie Elysium. Now, that was beside Matt Damon and Jodie Foster. Gotta love old Jodie Foster, Silence of the Lambs, all the way. And he hasn't done too many major movie appearances, but the one big thing that he's got is he starred in the TV series Narcos. And because of that, he actually got nominated for a Golden Globe. Now that's pretty good just for a TV series. Now when I was going through the cast on this one, I actually seen a name or ran across a name that I actually really know. And his name's Ving Rhames. And you would have seen him in such movies like Blood In, Blood Out, Pulp Fiction, all the Mission Impossibles, as well as one of my favourites. He was Mad Dog Diamond in Con Air. Plus, as well, has been seen in countless TV series. Now, the premise for this one's actually, it's pretty a generic story, but I feel because, honestly, right, it's actually being directed by Ridley Scott, or Sir Ridley Scott, this is actually going to turn out to be a banger of a TV series. Now, it goes along as these two mates pose as DEA agents and go along and actually rob drug dealers. Because the way they think about it, well, it's not honestly like a drug dealer is going to be able to call the cops and be like, hey, I just got robbed by two DEA agents, and what am I going to do about it? But obviously, because it's a bit of a generic story, something goes bad along the way. Well, that's what the trailer says anyway, and they robbed the wrong person. Which all of us could have seen that happening. But it's going to be the action and the drama that's going to come about. Because with Ridley Scott behind the wheel, it should be a really good drama series. Now that one comes out on Apple TV on the 14th of March. And don't forget, go definitely check that bad boy out. Now let's move on to the next one, guys. And also, just quick, guys, just like to thank all my old subscribers for liking and watching my videos. And any new watchers, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's get back into it. Alright, the next one up really piqued my interest. I love me old true stories, and this one definitely got me. Now this is coming out on the 20th of March this year, obviously. Now it's actually called Happy Face.
What do you know about the Happy Face killer?
He's my father.
Now Happy Face is an upcoming American true crime drama television series. Now it's going to be coming out on Paramount Plus. Now Happy Face is an adaptation of a 2018 podcast by Melissa Moore, as well as a little bit of an autobiography done by Melissa Moore as well, and she was helped by M. Bridget Cook to do the autobiography. Now this television series actually stars Dennis Quaid. Now I love old Dennis Quaid. I remember him all through the 90s and early 2000s. He's playing the main character in this one, old Keith Hunter Jesperson. And I remember him from movies like, Dragonheart, Parent Trap, Any Given Sunday, The Rookie, The Day After Tomorrow. There's so many movies that old Dennis Quaid was in and is still in movies today and television series. So we can't count old Dennis Quaid out. Now, alongside Dennis Quaid in this one, playing Melissa Moore, the obvious serial killer's daughter, is Annalee Ashford. Now, you would have seen her more on Broadway roles like Wicked, Legally Blonde, Hair, and as well, she received a Tony Award for a role in You Can't Take It With You. And another fella that popped up on my radar while I was looking at the cast is a fella called James Walt. Now, you would have actually seen him recently in the new Sonic 3 movie, playing young Captain Walters. Now, this comes out on Paramount Plus, and yes, it is a TV series, but it looks really good. Dennis Quaid looks like he actually bulked up for this in the trailer. He looks like he's pretty ripped in this one. Obviously, the storyline for this one goes, Melissa Moore at the age of 15 found out that her dad was a happy face killer. And now what this TV series is going to be about is her podcast that she did, as well as her autobiography that she did. And it's really going to be interesting to see how this TV series comes out, because already it looks like Dennis Quaid is really engulfed in his role, and I love it when he does that, because then it's going to turn out to be a really good film or TV series. Now, this bad boy comes out on the 20th of March on Paramount Plus. Alright guys, number 3 on our list happens to be one that really has got me excited. This is one trailer this year that I really can't wait to watch this movie when it comes out because it's got one of my favourite actors in it. Now, this one is called Locked, and it's an upcoming American horror thriller movie, and it looks insane.
I just want to introduce you to a little taste of hell.
Like, the story pretty much behind this is a thief goes to a car, sees it's unlocked, jumps into it, and then the car locks itself, and then he hears, like, sort of over the speakers, someone speaking to him, and it doesn't really look like it's going to turn out to be that fun of a time for old mate in the car. Now, one thing that really got me excited for this trailer is to see that old Sir Anthony Hopkins, one of the best actors in the world, I don't care what people say he is actually going to be in this movie. Now, I don't know if you're going to get to see him, but through the trailers you get to hear his voice. And he actually happens to be the owner of the car that the thief goes and jumps into. Now, so Anthony Hopkins, obviously, we don't really need anything, you know his movies, but some of my favourites happen to be, Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon, obviously, Sir Ridley Scott's Hannibal, when he came back for that, was epic, as well as in Bram Stoker's Dracula, and The World's Fastest Indian, which happens to be a really good movie as well. If you haven't seen that, go check that bad boy out. As well as, I really liked him in Red 2. He was actually quite funny in that, playing that, psycho scientist dude with the red mercury bomb. That was actually a really good movie as well. As well as, of course, can't leave it out, he is Odin out of all the Thor series. Now, I can go on for Sir Anthony Hopkins for like days because he's actually one of my favourite actors. Silence of the Lambs is probably up there when I would put it in my top three of movies because I don't care what people say. I think he played Hannibal Lecter to the T. Now, the other person starring in this movie is Bill Skarsgård. Now, he's been up and coming for the last couple of years, and I feel a couple of his last movies weren't that good, but some of them actually are. Now, he's playing a character in this one called Eddie, and obviously he's going to be the thief that jumps in the car and gets locked into it. Now, I remember Bill Skarsgård, and some of his good roles that I like him in was Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, Boys Kills World, as well as John Wick 4. And it's interesting to see how he's coming up because, I like the fact that a lot of his family is actually deeply involved in acting or movies because his dad's actually Stellan Skarsgård. And he's been in heaps of movies over the years. I remember in Deep Blue Sea. Of course, everyone remembers in Pirates of the Caribbean as Bootstrap Bill. Very notable role and a good role at that. And he's been seen in Thor and the Avengers series as well, as one of the scientists behind the scenes. And as well, it's still really cool to see that 8 of his kids are actually involved in movies and acting. And one of my favourites happens to be Gustav Skarsgård, and he was actually in Vikings as Floki. And now Vikings was a really good series. If you definitely haven't watched that, go out and check that bad boy out. Now, I think I dribbled a little bit too much on about the people that are in this movie. I can't help it. There's some actually really good people in this movie. Now, this is actually a remake of an Argentinian film in 2019 that was made called 4x4. So it's interesting to see how we've sort of grabbed that and flipped it and turned it into, the Westerner sort of side of a movie. And it's really good to see that Sir Anthony Hopkins is still kicking and pumping in movies. Yeah, I definitely can't wait to see this bad boy, and it comes out on the 21st of March. So definitely lock that one in your calendars, guys. Go see that movie. Alrighty, let's move on to the next trailer, guys. Alrighty, everyone, next up we got a new one called Holland.
This is really super tonight, Nance. Did you do something different?
Brown mustard instead of yellow. I felt like doing something a little crazy.
Now, this one is a bit of a weird one for me, guys. When I first seen it, I originally thought, alright, well, Holland, this is going to be, obviously over in Europe. But no, this is in Holland, Michigan. Now, Holland is an upcoming American horror thriller mystery movie that's going to be coming out on Amazon Prime. The story for this one, watching the trailer and looking it up, it seems to be that a woman in a small Midwestern town seems like her husband might be living a double life, but it ends up that he might be doing a little bit more than just living a double life. Now, it stars Nicole Kidman, and I've got to love her. She's one of our best Australian actors that we have, and she's in my heart because one of my best and all-time favourite movies, that one is definitely in the top 3, is called BMX Bandits, and she actually starred in that, and that was back in the day when she had her big red hair, and I gotta love that big fro because she rode around on her BMX with that out and flying free. Gotta love her. As well as I remember seeing her in, gotta love her, Batman Forever. That's when her hair started to change, obviously. Then you got Practical Magic, which is my wife's favourite movie, and then you got Eyes Wide Shut. As well as more recently, you would have seen her in Aquaman, as well as The Northman. Now, as well, I could keep going on about Nicole because I love her, but we'll move on to the next person. Now, the other character in this one, playing her husband, is Matthew McFadden. Now, I do remember him in such old movies, but it's still a crack-up of a movie of Death at a Funeral. Now, it has been remade with Chris Rock in it, I'm pretty sure, but the original had Matthew McFadyen in it. Now, I'll go check that one out as well. That's actually a really good movie. But as well as you would have seen him in more recent films like The Three Musketeers, another good one that I've seen him in, and he played Paradox in Deadpool versus Wolverine. Now, it's going to be like interesting to see how they mix this one up because through the trailer it almost looked like that possibly Nicole Kidman's play was leading a double life as well, maybe, having a bit of an affair with someone at the school. But who knows how they're going to throw this one around. Now, this actual bad boy comes out on March the 27th on Amazon Prime. Alrighty, now let's move on to the next one, which I feel is going to be a really good banger. Alrighty, now this next one is pretty much straight out of my backyard. This one is called The Surfer.
Dans les vies, dans le surf.
Hey, Dad.
It's okay.
Now, this one was filmed in 2024 and it's a psychological thriller movie, but it actually hasn't been released theatrical yet. Now, it's set to be released on the 2nd of May, which is a little bit away, but still can't wait to watch this one. Alright, the storyline behind this one goes pretty much when a man returns to Australia after his, house in his hometown has been put up for sale and he can buy it again, he returns there and buys it. Now, once he gets there, he's, an avid surfer or was an avid surfer, and he wants to go down to the beach and surf. Now, as sometimes good old Aussies are like this, but he goes down to the beach to go surfing and he gets approached by a bunch of locals which tell him, no, you cannot surf here, and that's when everything starts. Obviously, he doesn't want to, back down in front of his kid, and he just wants to surf with his kid. And he is American and coming to Australia, even though he used to live here, he still considers himself a local, but of course the local Australians don't because obviously his accent. And that's when you start seeing in the trailer like all the psychological stuff, like, they go and puncture his tyres, won't let him, swim in the ocean or surf in the ocean with his kid. They start doing stuff to the house where he's at and stealing stuff and real psychological stuff that would mess with your brain, especially if the local police wasn't going to help you at all. And it seems like possibly through the trailer that the local police might be on the side of the Australian surfies. Now, what really got me interested with this movie at first was seeing that one of my old favourite stars is popping back up and hopefully going to make a good movie because I feel a couple of his movies lately haven't been that good, even though they have been, but you decide. Now, this is Nicolas Cage. He's popping up as the star for this one. And of course, gotta love him. Good old Nicolas Cage. Gone in 60 Seconds, Con Air, City of Angels, and the National Treasure series, as well as Ghost Rider. He was in Kick-Ass, as well as his animated films as well. He's also done voices for The Croods and for the Spider-Man Multiverse series. It seems like this man has seriously done it all, but as well as he's had, even though I don't like to really shoot down most people, but if you ever get to go see a chance, go out and watch a movie called Jiu-Jitsu that he did. It's really interesting of a movie to go watch, that's for sure. Go check that one out. Now, the other person in this movie, so the antagonist, is actually Julie McMahon. Now, if anyone was on TV in the 90s, you would have actually recognised this fella out of Charm. Now, he was Cole Turner out of Charm. Now, I don't know, my mum and I think my grandmother were a bit obsessed with it back in the day, so we all got jammed full with a lot of Charm. So it wasn't like these days where you have multiple TVs in a house. We had one TV in the house and everyone had to share it. And putting aside that he was, Cole Turner and Charm, as well as he was in the 2005 Fantastic Four as Doctor Doom and the 2007 Fantastic Four as Doctor Doom as well. And then you would have seen him pop up in Red. And now Red was another good movie that I really love. Go check that out if you haven't seen Red before. Now, it's going to be funny to see how the dynamic of these two actually combine for this movie, because I'm not too sure. Honestly, it looks like it's going to be a really good movie, but I guess you can't really tell till it comes out. And Nicolas Cage, even though I love him, hasn't been doing the best of movies sometimes. Even though I've got to admit, I don't think I really heard him speak until like the end of the movie, but that Willy's Wonderland was actually quite funny to see him in that one. And don't forget, this one comes out on the 2nd of May, so lock that one in. Alright, now let's move on to the final trailer of the day, guys. Alright guys, here we go again, and I'm not too sure if we really needed it, but it's coming back finally. We have Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, Jurassic World Rebirth is going to be an upcoming American science fiction action movie, and it's going to be a standalone sequel to the Jurassic World Dominion movie. Now, this one happens to be the 4th in the World Jurassic series, as well as it's the 7th installment in the Jurassic Park World, all the movies put together pretty much. Which seems, maybe they're pushing it a little bit too far now. Like, I think honestly, like 3 was good, but that should have been maybe the end of it. Like, yeah, when they brought the Chris Pratt one in, it was okay, but Yeah, it didn't have the same stigma as what the original three did, that's for sure. Now, this movie is actually set 5 years after the Jurassic World Dominion movie has happened. And pretty much, the world has gotten to a point where, dinosaurs obviously can't live on it, so now you only really get to see them in remote tropical locations. Now, so what happens is a pharmaceutical company ends up hiring a covert operation lady, right, to set up a team to go in there to recover the three biggest dinosaur DNAs that they have on the island, because in their minds that the DNA in those dinosaurs has something in there that would be able to help the human race, cure obviously diseases or survive longer. But obviously nothing ever works out as planned in the Jurassic world. Obviously when they hit the land, they're never prepared for it, like everyone says. The only one I feel that was close to it was number three, because old mate did not want to go back to that island. He said as soon as he landed that, we are not prepared, and more likely we're going to die when we get here. And it seems like the same thing is sort of going to happen along in this Jurassic one. But the only thing that they brought along this time to try and amp it up is I feel is Scarlett Johansson. And as well, there is a very good cast in this movie as well, but it's getting to the point where I feel we're really just reaching for movies these days. Like the Jurassic series should have been done a long time ago, and I don't really feel that they should keep going. But it will be still interesting to see. But at the moment, they've gone to a whole different level, actually like crossing over the different species of dinosaurs with their DNA and stuff like that, and then it sort of loses the whole, the original stigma of the movie where it was just creating dinosaurs so people could come and look at them. And also, don't forget, guys, the Jurassic World Rebirth is actually coming out on the 2nd of July. So, yep, a long way away, but gives us time to prepare for it, that's for sure. Alrighty, and the main ones I'm really excited for out of these trailers, guys, would be the Dope Thief one. Even though it's a TV series, I feel it's going to be really good. As well as Happy Face, again, another TV series, but will be very good. Dennis Quaid's in that one, and he still looks beefy for that role. Like, he's definitely beefed up for that. In the trailer, you've seen him come out looking ripped in that orange jumpsuit. Next up, of course, Locked. Now, that's the one with Sir Anthony Hopkins and Bill Skarsgård in it. That one looks like it's going to be a really good one, and can't wait to see how that movie actually plays out. As well as The Surfer. As being an Australian, but I do like me Australian movies, but seeing Nicolas Cage in this one, as well as being a psychological thriller, that seems to really pique my interest in this movie, and I can't wait for that one to come out. So yeah, guys, there's four trailers out of that six that I'm really excited about, but the other two, yeah, I'll just watch, as well as Jurassic Park. I don't know, sort of really lost me a long time ago, but I'll still watch it. My kids seem to like the new Jurassic Parks, but just because I don't think they like the old school animation as well as what we had, the Robotronics and all that stuff that we had on the original Jurassic Parks. But as always, that's just my opinion, guys. Why don't you just tell me your opinion about any of the trailers you just seen? What would you like to see, or is what you're excited for? Now, don't forget to like and subscribe. All my old subscribers, thank you again. Love you all for liking and watching my videos. And all the new watchers, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.